Welcome back to the Hunter Dividends YouTube channel. We are set to break down another dividend stock. Let's take an analysis here of Elevance Health. Its ticker symbol ELV. Going to take a look at this one. I had a subscriber ask me about this one. This is a recent purchase of mine as well. So I'm Kyle Hunter, aka the Hunter of Dividends. I appreciate everybody tuning in here today. Let's dive right into this dividend stock analysis. So first, we're going to take a look at the 1-year chart of Elevance. This is a one-day chart. Here's the 1-year chart. Elevance has been up and down here, but over the last year, it's actually down a bit. It's toward the bottom of its range. You see the 6-month, it has dipped quite a bit here in the last month or so. Healthcare stocks in general haven't done great during that time. I do think there are some decent options in the healthcare and pharmaceutical areas of the market right now for dividend investors. So that's just a look there at Elevance from a 1-year perspective, so you can get an idea of where it's been. Let's see now where it's going. I'm not a short-term guy, so I can't say that I think that this one's going to fly in the short term or anything. I'm looking for the long term. I hope you are as well if you're a dividend investor. Let's take a look here at Simply Safe Dividends and the breakdown of Elevance Health. Its ticker symbol ELV. Once again, you see here it's a 1.30% dividend yield, a dividend safety score, fantastic, 99, which is the highest they give out there. Dividend growth, 16%, their most recent increase, very impressive. A pretty low beta, which is actually a little bit lower than I would have expected. This is a stock that has 16% 10-year CAGR and a 14% 5-year CAGR. It's pretty obvious that they're committed to raising their dividend here of late. The thing that excites me about this one is, I'll scroll back here so you can see the earnings payout ratio, 18%, free cash flow, 17, 11, 18 as far as year by year. Very low ratios here to where they should be able to raise this pretty substantially here in the coming years. I think it's something to be excited about for a dividend growth investor. 11 years straight of increasing dividends. I expect that to continue here for a good while. Let's look at the timeliness here. The dividend 5-year average 1.16. We're right now at 1.3. The forward PE ratio 5-year average 14.7. We sit at 13.6. 13.6 is pretty good compared to the industry here at 17.9. You see this is near the bottom of its 52-week range here right now. The earnings per share have grown really nicely. I really like the increase that we've seen from Elevance, very consistent. They've bought back stock, so the shares outstanding has gone down. Tend to think that's a positive as well, especially when something's going well for a company. Return on equity, 17%, very good. Operating margins are lower. It's going to be pretty common here in this industry. Debt, you see the debt looks fantastic. The interest coverage sitting at 10.13. They should be able to cover any debt that they would incur very quickly. I think this company is doing pretty well from a financial health standpoint. Being a healthcare stock, it's nice that the back end, the balance sheet looks very strong as well. So let's take a look here at Fast Graphs, another tool that I like a lot. I think both Simply Safe Dividends and Fast Graphs are very good for investors, specifically for dividend investors. So let's take a look at Elevance, again, ticker symbol ELV on Fast Graphs. Right here, we're looking at adjusted operating earnings. You see it's right about on the line for the average operating investing, the operating earnings as far as the average over a period of time. You see that it was pretty far above it for a good time. It kind of came back in line. I'm certainly not trying to argue that ELV is like dirt cheap by any means, but I think it's come into a range here. It's in the middle of the range there. 11.41%. Let's look at the forecasting calculators a bit. See the forecast for operating cash flows. If the forecasts are right, the rate of return here would be 21% through 2025. That would be fantastic. So it looks undervalued from that standpoint. Operating earnings, it is right on the exact line. But based on their growth, again, you're going to have a ROR rate of return of 14.55%. Even if they come in a little below that, you're still going to get a positive return. I think it's a pretty good spot here for Elevance. They continue to grow well. There aren't any warning signs right now. Certainly, this is a company where it's, like I said, I don't think it's dirt cheap, but I do think that it's come into a range where for a long-term investor, a buy and hold investor, I think this is a good one. Now, I do want to say really quickly, this is in the same group as United Health Group, UNH, which I think is also a very, very good stock. And it's one that I really hate that I don't have, to be honest. I'm going to just give you a brief look at UNH. And this is why I looked at buying ELV first instead of UNH. And I do think I will buy UNH at some point as well. I've kind of missed out on this one, to be honest. 99 safety score again, great dividend growth. The difference is UNH has an 18.6 PE ratio. It does not look like it's trading very cheap right now compared to the industry, where Elevance was down quite a bit lower from a PE ratio standpoint. The rest of the basics of UNH are certainly very strong, but you got 18.6 versus a 13.6, and that's a pretty big difference. So I think I'm getting a pretty good value here on Elevance right now. I hope UNH will go down, and then I'll buy it as well. But I think they're both going to be winners long term. Again, I think Elevance is a good long-term stock here. Certainly do your own due diligence. I'm not an investment advisor, so always want to point that out. Just a guy who's trying to build up for his future, get passive income. I think dividends are a great way to go about it. I hope you guys get something out of this channel that's helpful. If you like any of the videos, do give them a thumbs up below. It helps out a lot. Leave a comment. If you want any stock covered, drop it below or send me a message at Hunt Dividends on Twitter. Follow me there if you haven't already as well. I'm happy to do stocks. Look through any stocks that you think you would like to see. So that'll do it for today here on the Hunter of Dividends YouTube channel. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Keep building up that passive income with those dividend stocks.